Hi everyone, this is The Colors of Gaming. I'm Red.
And I am Orange.
And today we're going to talk about two big games in the kart racing community. One is called Mario Kart, which I'm sure everybody knows about, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Crash Team Racing.
These two games have created a lot of discussion online and maybe even a little bit of turbulence. As we'll get into this, I think we'll find out that these two games are a little different, and we'll talk more about what it is that these games have to offer.
First things first, we're going to tackle the thing that everybody can see right off the bat. It's the different characters and the series that these come from. Crash Team Racing comes from the Crash franchise. Personally, I did not have that much history with Crash. I had played the first and the second one when I was younger, and I know who Crash Bandicoot is essentially. I did not recognize a lot of these characters when I first got into the game, and that was a huge hurdle for me when I first started up that.
For me, the racing game, that was my first introduction, but Mario Kart is my bread and butter with Nintendo. My introduction to Nintendo was through Mario Kart, so I'm very familiar with Mario and the characters in this game.
And I would say that that's a huge hurdle when it comes to Crash versus Mario Kart, is everybody knows Mario Kart. As soon as I booted up Crash, I was able to see a bunch of different characters that I didn't recognize. I initially just went and chose Crash because I really liked his character design, and I thought that he was a lot of fun to play as. Eventually, you unlock a character named Ripperoo, and I think he's my second favorite character in that game because he's very animated. He's doing like flips, he's covering his eyeballs with his tongue. He's really fucking crazy.
Straight jacket.
Just insane, like Joker level stuff. I really enjoy that character.
In Mario Kart, some of my favorite characters, as always, have been Toad. I started playing Toad when I was 5, and I haven't stopped playing Toad since. So it's going to be Toad, and next to that is Villager. Animal Crossing is a game that just struck me in a way that no other game has. So the fact that he's in my favorite universe for the kart racing games, it makes the game even that much more better.
Both of these games are awesome, but they do have their downfalls. So what was your least favorite character in Mario Kart?
I've never been a fan of Peach in Mario Kart. Maybe it's because I don't identify with the pink dress. And I think to throw in with that is Daisy, but Rosalina, you can stay, you're sexy. What are your least favorite characters in Crash Team Racing?
Dr. Engine. He is fucking butt ugly. I just hate the way he looks. He looks like some midget fell into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and just came out disgusting. And I hate everything about him. I understand that he's a villain and he's supposed to look like that, but I just do not understand the philosophy with some of these characters in Crash Bandicoot. The next one is probably Purah, which is the tiger, completely bland.
Don't attack the tiger.
No, I just cannot get down with the tiger, man.
Whatever.
I mean, you have Crash Bandicoot, who is just really solid character design, and then you have this tiger that would just be lost in a furry convention. You wouldn't be able to tell him apart from the other tigers.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. He does look like a lot like a real tiger.
Yeah, just slap a bandana on him, call him Tony. There's no difference.
So with characters out of the way, what are your favorite tracks in Crash Team Racing?
I love Crash Cove. I think it's just so much fun
Dude.
because it's just a small little lap, and there's a ton of little jumps that you can
There's
get.
a ton of little things you slam into.
It's true, but I just really like the drifting opportunities you have in this one. I like the jumping. It just feels good. It sounds like you don't like Crash Cove. What's your problem with it?
I don't like crashing into the pier every single lap, and it was my introductory level, so I wasn't having fun with it learning the game. I think I've just got some PTSD from Crash Cove, not feeling it.
I will say that at the very beginning, there is this turn that goes into the water, and I think that's what you're talking about. At first, I didn't like that either, but that leads into a shortcut that I really enjoy. I like to be able to jump that and just get over that and be able to get ahead of my opponents because of that little shortcut.
The game has plenty of those hidden shortcuts for you.
Another one that I really enjoyed was Sewer Speedway. I love all of the jumps and like the half pipe there.
Yeah,
is
that's a good section.
super fun. There's a big crocodile at one point, a lot of awesome things. And I also like the tiny arena, which reminds me a ton of the Wario levels in Mario Kart.
The mud. Mario has all those Wario levels. All of them are like dirty, muddy. But that one didn't make the list for some of my favorites in Mario Kart. The favorite in Mario Kart's gonna have to start with Big Blue. That's a F-Zero racetrack. In Mario Kart, it fits so well. And for me, it's something new, that point A to point B race. With the circuit tracks, my favorite has to be Royal Raceway. One of the more plain ones, but I've become a fan of simulation racing, and those plain kind of racing maps scratch an itch for me. What about your least favorite tracks in Crash Team Racing?
I did not like Papu's Pyramid at all. There is some very tight turns that I do not think work with Crash's mechanics very well.
I think you find yourself myself doing that a lot in Crash. The bad maps seem to have these tight turns over and over again that kind of corkscrew.
It doesn't work very well with the mechanics. And then the other one that I do not like is Android Alley. The only reason that I don't like Android Alley is because of the train. I feel like when you get hit by the train, it's a little bit too much of a punishment.
It's debilitating.
You have to watch this train run over your character with every fucking cart that it has. It just really sucks.
I do like the map a lot, but you get hit by that train and the camera does this weird thing that I haven't seen before in any of the other tracks, and it pans out. And so you get this weird view of your character all squished that isn't necessary and kind of, like I said, debilitating. You're actually slower.
Yeah, it's very jarring. What were your least favorite?
For Mario Kart, it's an old one. It's been around for a long time and has reiterations, but it's Moo Moo Meadows. I don't like Moo Moo Meadows. I don't like the cows. And there's a section where you're jumping over potholes that I don't care about.
I have to completely disagree with you because I feel like Moo Moo Meadows is awesome because it allows for a lot of different tricks, a lot of different boosting opportunities.
My favorite part of Moo Moo Meadows is when you get to that pothole section, there's an upper ramp that you can take that lets you fly, and you can fly over the whole section anyway. So my favorite part is that it lets you skip that. The second least favorite course is the SNES Rainbow Road. Don't get me wrong, I like the SNES Rainbow Road on the SNES. That works really well in that Mario Kart. All the maps are flat like that, but it doesn't work well in Mario Kart 8. I don't like the way that controls, and where I'm playing all these other maps in a Grand Prix style, I get to that one and I'm actually pretty bored. There's cool things going on there, but I don't think it's anything better than what they did on the SNES. It's a skippable map.
It's even worse because in Mario Kart 8 you have the other Rainbow Roads to compare it to, so it just makes this thing look really cute and kind of pathetic.
Yeah, it does. I feel like if they were going to throw in a classic Rainbow Road, they should have thrown in the N64 Rainbow Road. That's the one I see all the time in memes online.
With tracks, you gotta have karts, right? And different styles of driving. With Crash Team Racing, there's a drifting style, there's like a balance style, and I think that adds enough to the gameplay. They're all pretty similar. They just change how you're gonna have to approach each track. How did they do that with Mario?
Mario Kart does it in a way that instead of choosing a selection of stats, you do it through customization of your kart, and even so far as the character you choose, but it's more important for your kart. Changing the wheels or the body type of the kart, or even choosing a motorcycle, can totally change the way you play and the way your vehicle drifts.
Now, Orange and I played both of these games. Which style did you prefer?
For me, the style I preferred was Mario Karts with the level of customization that you had instead of just a select menu of, like you mentioned, balance or drift or speed. I'm curious, which did you prefer?
I actually preferred Crash Team Racing just because it kept that competitive nature of the game. Everybody was on an even playing field no matter what wheels you had or what kind of kart you had. I really enjoyed how competitive Crash Team Racing seemed to be.
These kart racing games are goofy, and so making the goofiest vehicle I can while fitting my play style, like a motorcycle with tiny wheels or a bear that is a ATV with gigantic wheels, you can make that work for a certain style and it can be a lot of fun. I didn't really like that in Crash Team Racing, where I had to pick any car, it didn't matter, and just stick with it. So in Mario Kart and in Crash Team Racing, drifting is a huge part of playing this game. If you're not drifting, you're not playing it right. You gotta drift. Mario Kart, I gotta stick with the drifting in Mario Kart. I like that it's pretty simple, that you can hit those apexes around those turns. You can get those really good boosts and hit really smooth lines throughout the whole track. I like that straight shot. What about you? Where do you like drifting?
I love drifting in Crash because I love that you can just jump and start drifting down a straight hallway if you wanted. If you're good enough, you can just keep boosting throughout the entire race, and it just is really rewarding and rewards skill in a way that I haven't seen in another kart racer.
It does have a level of skill over it than Mario Kart does, especially with timing. I'd say that game is heavily timing influenced, but for me, it's all about those lines. My timing doesn't matter too much so long as I hit that drift as close as possible without hitting the grass, and that is extremely satisfying for me.
Now, along with drifting, there is a very different feeling when you start accelerating with these cars or even just moving with these cars. I feel like with Crash Team Racing, it does not feel real at all. Realism is thrown out the window, and it almost feels like I'm controlling a little RC car.
It feels floaty, and that's something that I'm not too keen on. It does allow for a lot of control, especially in midair, which happens a lot in Crash Team Racing. Mario Kart has a weight to it, so these vehicles and these characters that you're playing as, they actually feel kind of heavy, especially if you've played these games games side by side. If you have both these games and you haven't done that yet, do it, because Mario Kart feels heavy, and I like that. I like that amount of control that I feel that I have over my car in Crash. Sometimes I feel like I would have made that turn, but I turned right into the wall. It doesn't happen so much to me in Mario Kart.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you where if you haven't played these games side by side, you should try it. If you play Crash first, you are going to suck at Mario Kart for the first few tracks, and vice versa, because they feel totally different.
There's a lot of tricks in this game, and with those tricks come some really cool animations that add some character to the racer you've chosen. I really like the tricks in Mario Kart. Waluigi has some of the coolest tricks, hanging on the handlebars, doing freaking 360s, and I think even Peach has some cool tricks too, just to savor some little redemption there. But I didn't like the tricks in Crash Bandicoot. They bored me.
Unfortunately, I don't want to give anything to Mario Kart, but I have to give this to Mario Kart. The tricks in Crash Bandicoot are kind of lame.
They're kind of lame.
They do serve a function just like they do in Mario Kart, where it gives you a boost if you land them, but I felt like it was a little squishy. Sometimes it wasn't working as well as I thought it should in Crash. Now, with the points that I lost because of the tricks, I have to bring up the fucking items in Mario Kart.
You do.
That blue shell is the worst thing that I think anybody has made at Nintendo. Whoever made that should be fired. I hate the blue shell with a passion.
Don't tell me you haven't used it from 8th place.
I don't use it because I'm always in first.
Oh, that's bullshit.
No, it's not. I hate using it. I hate when it's used on me. It is the worst thing imaginable.
It's a cheap item, and Crash Team Racing doesn't have these items. Mario Kart has a lot more. I'd say maybe even triple the items that Crash Team Racing has. What is your favorite item from Crash Team Racing?
I think that my favorite item in Crash Team Racing is the rockets. I really enjoy just hitting people with them. They're very similar to the red shell in Mario Kart. I just like the lack of clutter when it comes to Crash. I don't think that it's overly cluttered with a bunch of items that don't even matter.
There's some cheap items in Mario Kart. I think probably the best example besides the blue shell is Bullet Bill. It's a lot of fun to use a Bullet Bill, especially online and multiplayer. When you're racing, you're in 8th place and you Bullet Bill all the way to first. It's hilarious, and that's the reason I like Mario Kart and the items. The items are pretty funny, especially Mario Kart 8. You gotta be like near last place, but you get this item, the infinity symbol, the figure 8. You get that, and it gives you every item that's in the game besides Bullet Bill. That is probably the most fun.
Well, my problem with the items is that it just feels so random and cheap, and whoever's in first can be knocked out all the way to 8th sometimes.
Yeah, they don't really reward you in Mario Kart for the position you're holding. They don't give you good items.
But is there any advantage to having that randomization?
I think it removes a little bit of skill, but the one advantage is the party play aspect. You blue shell your friend in first place, and he'll be very mad at you, and it's very funny to everyone else. And Bullet Bill over a bunch of people, or use a lightning strike and everyone's tiny, squished, and makes these high pipsqueak noises. That's fun.
In a party setting, I'm not sure if Crash would be that much fun. I think if everybody had a copy of their own and that they were practicing for the next Saturday when the boys got together, it would be a lot of fun, but maybe not like at a kid's birthday like Mario Kart.
It can be very competitive. You can play it by yourself and get good. So something Mario Kart has over Crash Team Racing, in my opinion, is the different sections of the race. You can hit a ramp like on Sunshine Airport, and you go soaring through the sky, and it's a lot of fun because you're soaring past planes. And there's other sections where you go underwater. Your vehicle has these sort of different motions. The anti-gravity sections, that's pretty unique to Mario Kart 8. I don't think any of the other Mario Karts have those sections. It adds a little bit of variety that you don't have in Crash Team Racing. You hit these anti-gravity sections and you're soaring past people, gaining boosts from them, and it allows for different level design too, where the map just totally turns on its head and your camera's a little warped, and maybe it makes your neck hurt a little bit, but it is fun. It's fun to see this whole world upside down, and it does allow for some awesome shortcuts.
I think that while it does wonders for the presentation, and in some cases with the game mechanics, such as you bumping into other karters and being able to get a boost from them, I think that it can sometimes slow down the gameplay with the flying mechanic. I don't know how much I like that. I think that it can be fun sometimes, but sometimes it gets a little bit too much with Mario Kart. With Crash, you don't have to worry about that. While the gameplay isn't incredibly varied, the gameplay is so good that you don't even notice it. It becomes this addictive cycle of going through the track, loading up another one, and just continuing on so that you can unlock those characters and those skins.
Oh, the skins. I'm not a big fan of the Crash Team Racing skins, and the biggest problem I have with those is how do you get them? They look great. If you see them in the store menu, they look awesome, and they charge a pretty penny for those too. That's the problem I have with the skins in Crash Team Racing. I wish Mario Kart had them, but Crash Team Racing does them in a way that I feel is very poor and kind of a kick in the face for any fans of Crash. This problem is microtransactions, a daily store page that changes, like I said, every day, and you have to check the store for these. You can get these skins by playing, but there's a progression system behind it that when I played, it felt so slow that they kind of wanted me to just end up buying those coins, and they really nailed that coffin when the second page on the store and the only other page on the store is to the eShop to buy coins.
I think that the microtransactions are disgusting in Crash Team Racing. I realize that it's just a huge exploitation of the audience, especially when I was able to scroll down and see the furry girls with the big mama's milkers. I could tell that that's what they wanted. They wanted people to get horny so that they buy these coins so that they can get these characters. I think that that is awful of Crash Team Racing, but it does come with its perks. One is that it comes with constant updates that give you new characters and I think even new tracks. That's something that Mario Kart doesn't do.
And I have to concede to that point. Mario Kart has gotten stale. We saw it on the Wii U with Mario Kart 8, and you had all the DLCs, which if you played on the Wii U, I hope you liked it and I hope you enjoyed your money's worth. But playing on the Switch now, I kind of feel cheated. I got one extra map for buying this game, again, like most people, and getting one map, getting 2 or 3 new characters didn't feel worth it. If microtransactions are the way to get updates, that sucks. I hope that doesn't stay the trend, but I'm willing to bite the bullet for it if it means that I can enjoy more.
I don't think that we should have to deal with microtransactions in order to get updates. I don't think that that's how it should be. I don't like that Crash does that at all. It's just the way it is, unfortunately, and the only thing saving this game for me is that gameplay loop. It just feels so good when I'm in a race and I'm in first and I'm just drifting everywhere. So much so that I almost forget that the game functions like a fucking iPhone game.
Crash Team Racing could make some amends here by just changing the way the store is. I've participated in microtransactions in plenty of games, but the one thing other games have over what I've seen in Crash Team Racing is other games allow you to go back in time and buy those things. If it exists, you can buy it. I feel like the art team's not really getting the credit they deserve, because if you go a day without playing this game and checking the store, you go a day missing something that you could have bought. Why not just add a store that lets you buy it all?
I think that it's exploitational, and I don't enjoy that about Crash. But enough of that. Who is the winner here? Which game is the better one? What do you say, Orange?
I think the better one is the timeless classic, Mario Kart, a genre definer, but also a game that has perfected itself over the years.
I have to give it to Crash Team Racing because it's new, it feels good, and I think I would recommend this to people that have a PlayStation 4 or something other than the Switch. If you want something that will feel kind of close to Mario Kart, but you don't want to buy a Nintendo product, go ahead, get Crash Team Racing. You're probably going to enjoy it.
If you don't have a Nintendo Switch and you don't have the money for it, or you just don't want to buy one, go for Crash Team Racing. It's a good solo game. It's a good party game. You can get you and your friends on it too. It's a good time.
If you were to bring one of these games to a random person's party, which one would you choose?
I'm bringing my Switch because I can take it anywhere, and I'm bringing Mario Kart 8 because I feel that over the past 20 years, all of my friends have had to have touched Mario Kart at least once. I feel that it's easy to get into.
I am bringing Mario Kart as well to a party, and that kind of leads us into our next thing. Why in the hell are people talking about this online?
Why?
They're totally different games.
They feel different, but I see why they're talking about them, and it's the genre kart racer. It's hard not to talk about it because Mario Kart, I think, kind of defined that genre, but it doesn't mean that Mario Kart can be the only one that does it right. I think that you've got to allow for some leeway, and you have to give credit where it's due, and Crash Team Racing did a really good job by making this game different in a genre that we don't see too much of.
Totally different games. Crash Team Racing is still great. Mario Kart is still great. I think that they're both just really good, really different games, and if you haven't tried either of them, go check them out.
Yeah, and if you've played both of them and you disagree with us, say it. These opinions matter. The discussion happening is what fuels future games like this. It's important to talk about the things you love. Defend it if you will. Do whatever you want.
One thing that I would like to say is that I think one of the biggest reasons why people are comparing these two is the kart racing genre isn't very big.
It's pretty limited. Outside of these two games, I've only played maybe 1 or 2 other kart racer games, And one I remember because it was so terrible. M&M Racing, that's a shout out to you. You were on the Wii and you sucked.
And with all that said, that concludes our show.
Bye-bye.
This is The Colors of Gaming. Thank you so much for listening. Signing out.